And all roads led to Limulunga the day after Kuomboka 2024, because people don't even know that there's a lot of activity that happens at the palace the day after Kuomboka, because the Litunga has finally settled in his residency. Now, a lot of things went wrong for me. Oh my goodness, let us start with this Musisi. It did not fit the way it fitted 2 years ago. So the shirt was too big and the skirt was bigger, but I ended up opting to just wear the top and leave the skirt behind. So I wore a jean trousers, and guess what? There's certain places in the palace grounds where you are not allowed as a woman to walk around in trousers. So the first mistake I made was I had trousers on, but luckily my mother is the kind of woman who always says, hey, wherever you go, make sure you carry a chitenge. You never know what will happen. And thank goodness I listened to my mother, because I had a chitenge in my bag, so I was able to move around freely. I took a walk around Limulunga and I actually noticed that yes, the water levels were low. There was no way the Nalikwanda was going to settle here. I decided to walk back to the main activity area, and there were so many young people in their sizivas and musisis. I was just drowning in the cuteness overload. It was just so amazing. There's also this beautiful craft shop right there at Limulunga Palace where you can buy different curios to carry back with you home. But bear in mind that there's not a lot of places you can buy refreshments. So all I ended up eating was that watermelon, and I was thirsty. And at this moment, I got a call from somebody who follows me on Facebook who was like, I know there's a Royal Banquet today and I know you do not have cards. So drive back to Mongo, pick up these cards from me, and you can attend the banquet. You did not have to tell me twice, you guys. That is how I got into my car and drove all the way to the house of this beautiful random stranger who presented me with these cards for the banquet. And I was excited because the Litunga and Chitimukulu were going to be in attendance. I didn't think I would be able to make it to the banquet, but there I was back at home putting on the skirt of this Musisi that was letting me down. So I drove back to Limulunga with a friend, and oh my goodness, there were so many people when I returned. It had just been an hour, but the crowds had grown. So lucky for me, I knew exactly where I was going to go, because we're not going to the public spaces anymore. We had to find our way to the place where the Royal Banquet was going to take place, right in the Limulunga Palace. So this is just me walking. Oh my goodness, look at that skirt. But you know what? The fun was more important than how I looked. So everybody was all dressed up, and all the women actually had to find their way into the women only entrance. Sure, check out the sand that is in Mongo, you guys, in Limulunga. My feet were sinking, and thank goodness I was rocking my Adidas sneakers, so I was not sinking into the sand. So we were led through the women only entrance, and there we had to present our banquet cards to show that we were actually invited. And I was so excited because I was like, listen, I have never been in attendance at an event with the Litunga and he's close by. I was so excited. So this lovely gentleman actually decided to lead us through the grounds of the palace towards the entrance, and finally we made our way into the marquee, but we had no place to sit. Luckily, they were so organized, they went to arrange more chairs for us because we were late, and there I was trying to get confidence in this Musisi. It wasn't working, but finally we found a good place to sit, and these were all the other people who were invited. Most of the people who are invited are usually dignitaries, donors, and also sponsors. And at this moment, they made an announcement that if you're not wearing any royal headgear, you have to take it off. And so I had to take off my hat, and I'm like, no, I didn't do my hair. I'm just looking a mess, but it was okay. So we all had to wait, and finally we all asked to kneel because the Litunga had finally made it into the marquee. But there's so many things that you have to know and understand. There's so many things you have to follow and procedures. Apart from the speeches, you guys, we are not allowed to record the Litunga as he is eating. And that for me, I was like, oh my goodness. Anyway, I just was happy to be in the same room where it happens with all these amazing people, and we got to watch everybody give him these beautiful gifts. And the best part is that the food was amazing. The sponsors came through. We had so much meat on our plates, I didn't even know what to do. Oh my goodness, the food was to die for. So time, I got to meet my friend Tebuho, and before you knew it, the event was over, and we all had to be led to the main arena where the Litunga was going to receive all his gifts. Overall, Kuomboka 2024 was such a highlight for me. It was such an amazing cultural event for me, and the fact that it was so different this year, it just made me feel so proud as a young woman to be part of it. And I encourage everybody to attend Kuomboka 2025 because you don't know what you're going to expect. So from me, I am signing out, and it's goodbye.